Want to stop for a second and show you guys one ride that I just made a deal on. A 1968 Chevrolet Crew Cab Caprice. Yep, it's 4-door hardtop. Now this thing has been sitting for about 25 plus years or so, and it's quite a looker. Now we just recently drugged this thing out and gave it kind of a quick bath to wash off all the funk so that we could get downright dirty with it, trying to get her back out on the road. After getting this thing rinsed off, and that wet paint right there with all that water on it, man, it looks good. Now we've made a deal on 6 of these things that we're calling the dirty half dozen. So the plans for all of these is exactly the same. Get them out, get them spruced up, get them back running so that we all can enjoy them once again. And now this particular car is pretty sweet. Let me show you around what we've picked up. Now everybody wants to see up under the hood. And this one is something to see. It's a good old small block Chevrolet, and it's actually one that's a little hard to find. A 327. Now this car being a big old body, it's good to say that this thing, definitely could be making some pretty serious horsepower. Now with the motor itself, it is a 4-barrel motor, and you can kind of see it up under there. And also down over in there is some good old double hump heads. That's the retro or old school high performance stuff. Now this particular car is really and truthfully one of those cars that back in the day, if somebody was to find it, the first thing they do after they would buy it is snatch that motor out of there. Now, as you can see, it's all dirty and funky and nasty, but really and truthfully, it's all complete. All the belts are still there. It even has the heat riser, this little tube that goes from the exhaust manifold up to the air intake. Now with this thing, I don't anticipate it being, let's say, too difficult to get running, but it could be if it's got some stuck valves. And I don't want to deal with no more stuck valves after fooling with that Plymouth we just rescued. Not everybody would go about working on a car and using a hammer, but that's what I had to do. So with the valves freed up, all we need now is a brand new head gasket. Now let's look a little further on this thing. Now let's talk about the body. That's what everybody sees, and this particular one, in all reality, it's in really great shape. Now all we did was kind of spray it off at the car wash and kind of scrubbed it down with that exfoliating brush. And whenever you look at it, it's in nice shape. Now it does need a little bit of some polishing and a waxing and that kind of thing, but overall the car's really not that rusty. We did find some rust back here in the trunk, but that's kind of to be expected with this thing being a 68 model. It's got some age on it, but the paint itself, well, it's been painted once before, and it's not a high-end paint job. It was really just kind of one of those spruced up things. So I'm going to walk you around the side of this dude, and you can see by the reflection, it's really not all that rough. It really and truthfully doesn't have a whole lot of bumps or bruises anywhere on this thing. Now we did pop the trunk earlier, and up under here, you can kind of see where it's got like scratched up or some dough starting to crack because there's some body filler in here. And somebody had pop riveted a panel in there, which, I'm not going to hate on it. This car's not really worth a tremendous amount of money, but just fixing one sometimes is what this person was after. And really and truthfully, 25, 30 years ago, to have the tools to weld up sheet metal, well, it cost a little bit more than what it does today. You can see it's got some rust in it. It's kind of poking back through. But shoot, it's still a good old car. Tail lights in this old thing's in pretty good shape. One of the things that scares people to death is a vinyl top. And I completely understand, because this right here is what they're known for. rust up under them. Now this one, as you can see, I'm pushing on it pretty hard. It's not even really crunching or nothing, which means it's just a few blisters. Now a person could take and rip this thing off, do a little kitty hair repair or some tin work, some wire wheeling, a whole bunch of MIG welding and that kind of thing, and probably spruce it right up and put a new top on it, and no one would ever know. Is that what we're gonna do? Negative, not at all. What we're planning to do is take this thing and just basically clean it and make it so that from about 20 feet, you're kind of envious of this fella. Well, not of me, of the potential buyer later down the road. So don't judge me. I'm just the guy who's the messenger right now. Don't go. No, stay. Awesome. Yes, stay. It's cool. You can go. Okay, I'll go. This thing sitting in the shop sure does look good. And I've even got it kind of crammed over here close to everything else. But she's still a looker. Now on this side, it's got a considerable more amount of rust up under the top, which does suck. But this is the side that was kind of away from the sun and the open elements on that side. So what I anticipate happened over here, well, it just basically stayed cooler and moister and caused all this type of situations. But it does suck, but it's not a deal breaker because at like 55 mile an hour, shoot, you wouldn't even be able to tell this thing's got rust in it. Now, something else that I have already done, and I didn't want to bore you guys, and that is with working on the brakes. We bled them and changed the master cylinder, the wheel cylinders, all the hoses, and that kind of thing. And it's basically because no one wants to see that kind of stuff. Nope. Bleeding brakes sucks so bad. And if you haven't ever done it, guess what? You need to try it because you will realize it sucks. Now, I don't want to hate on anybody that has to do that for a living, but I'm definitely here to tell you that those folks earn every dollar that they get. So, instead of talking about all that, I'll give you a break. Let's check out the interior of this thing. Now, if you slide up in here with me, it's pretty funky, folks. It's dirty, it's musky, and it smells a lot like a gym bag. Very musky, almost juicy, kind of sweaty. Yeah. It's almost like if you've ever met one of those folks that hasn't changed their socks in like, I don't know, a week, and then all of a sudden they kick their shoe off, and all of a sudden it's like the temperature changes in the room. That's what it smells like in here. I'm trying not to breathe too deeply because it's very pungent. Now, looking over the interior in this thing, it's in really nice condition too. The dash pad in it doesn't have a single crack in it. The gauges and all are really nice. The steering wheel has a couple of cracks in it, and that's kind of to be expected, you know, because of the temperature changes with this thing being stored outside. But the seats themselves, they're not really ripped up at all. So a little bit of cleaner, a whole bunch of deodorizer probably go a long ways. Now over in here is a bunch of goodies. We kind of drug through some of those. This is a First National Bank recipient where they made a deposit, and it's from 02/20 of 01. 2001. This is 2025. So there's a pretty good chance that this thing, we're just a couple months away from that ticket being 25 years old. I bet you this thing has been that off the road that long. But I'm confident we can fix it. If y'all want to ride along with me, I'll sure let you check us out when we're cruising with it. Hey, another thing, if you guys will, stop right now what you're doing, other than watching the show, and click this little button. I need you guys to subscribe. We got a whole lot more people that just view us than there are subscribing to us. So if you would, please hit that little button right there, because that alone helps us a bunch, a lot more than you would think. Appreciate your support, and let's get back to getting this thing going. Now I done fell up under the bottom side of this thing in the efforts to show you guys what this old car looks like. Now with the fuel tank that's in this thing, I thumped around on it and it's actually sounds like it's empty. So what I'm probably going to do is take me a little old scope and run it down up in there to the filler neck and see what the inside of the tank looks like. I did stick my nose on it a little earlier and it didn't really smell bad, so there's a chance this thing is actually out of fuel. Now, up under one of these old big body cars, one of the things I always like to look for is to see what kind of rear axle is in it. This one has a 10 bolt under it. I was really kind of hoping that it'd have a 12 bolt, but you know, you can't knock them out of the park all the time. Now, it does have a set of duals on it, which is pretty cool. That one over there is pretty rusty right there around the hanger. This one over here, that's not too bad. But all that goes back to me talking about how the car having a lot more moisture on the side of the, that was away from the carport, or under the carport and away from the side that the sun or the air was kind of reaching it here on the driver's side. Man, the joys of fixing an old car. Good news about this one is it's solid. Yes, sir. Very solid old car. But it's enough talking about the backside. It's time for us to jump on the front side. So, what's the first things we're going to do here? Well, we got a lot to do, to be honest with you. Well, with this thing sitting as long as it has, I don't want any issues whenever I strike out with my family. And I also want this thing to run and operate at maximum performance. So, we're going to rebuild the carburetor, give it kind of a spruced up tune-up for sure. Probably ought to roll it around a few times and make sure the motor's not, let's say, locked up or tight. I know I kind of gave it a tug and it at least made that little clunk noise, which is a good thing, but I don't want any surprises. I really don't. So we're going to end up pulling the plugs out of it. I want to see what they look like. Probably ought to get the carburetor off or get the points out of it. It's going to need some points. Oh man, I bet you them things are funky. But we'll get the cap off of it. Let me just quit talking. Let me just get working. What do you say? Y'all think that's a good idea? Go ahead and grab a couple of these here tools. We're going to need some of them. Go ahead and get this thing off of there. Now, this right here, I'm going to tell you folks that I was excited to see that carburetor right there. 4 of them, not just 2 of them. So that means this thing makes a little bit more horsepower than the 2-barrel one. Yep. Now, 2-barrel motor in this era probably made 250-ish. But this one makes 275, maybe 285. Now, we ought to scratch off the engine code over there on the side and just to see what it is. You know, we could decode this thing and see what kind of power it makes from the factory. I want to get this carburetor off of here. I want to throw a bunch of stuff around to break anything. Now, these old carburetors right here have a bad rap. Yep. It's what some folks call a quadra-junk. But I really like them. I really do. Man, you get one of these things that's right, shoot, it's hard to beat. Plus, it makes a cool sound. Like, really, really cool sound. Could have grabbed me an extension. Oh, no. I was able. Just wasn't holding my mouth right. These things have 2 long bolts in the front and 2 shorty bolts, or even potentially, I'm working in the dark here. Oh, yeah. We got it. I think. Y'all saw it. Carburetor come up, didn't you? Yeah. Come on. Get out of there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yahtzee. Now, vacuum line off the front. We got this PCV valve. A couple of plug-ins here on the back from the air conditioner servo valve. Oh, shoot. We can unplug it. One of them throttle cable springs. That's out of the way. Need to get me some cutters for that funky, scary, dry rotted fuel hose. No, I had one. Where'd you go? It's gone. Somebody stole it. It's hard to find good help. Wait, talking about me. Here we go. Ooh. No gas. Is the choke hooked up? The choke is hooked up. This one's old. It's got a heat riser choke. Let me get my screwdriver here. Pry that clip off. Bink. Save that little clip. That little dude right there. Ooh. I think we may have her. Let's see if I can get that line loose. Come on, silly. Come on. Come on. Look at there. I'm going to speculate that the ignition system in this dude is going to be bad. Remember me talking about it being a low mileage ride? Well, this car has the original wires on it. Let me get one of these off and try to be real easy with it. Let me bring it over there to you. Pardon me. See that? That's a date code. That is the original GM plug wires and coil wire from back in the day.
Around 6'7". 6'7".
You look at the little terminals on it, in really good shape. Not funky, not corroded. And a little more discolored. I'm going to be easy with these plug wires when I take them off. And let's just look at the cap. Now, some of you guys may be like, just snatching this stuff off there. And yeah, you could, I guess. But there's a chance that there ain't nothing wrong with these. They're just old. Move them back out of the way. It still blows my mind, this car being 20-something thousand miles. Well, looks like somebody's put a cap on it. This one's got aluminum contacts on the inside. They're not in good shape. I speculate that from back in the day, it would have had brass ones. Little rotary button out of the way. Any of you guys ever been in a hurry, put a car together, and forget to put the rotor button in it? I have. A few engine builders may be cringing right now, but they ain't worked on stuff in. Be nice, Tom. Be nice. I'd run that cap. That rotor. Yeah, it's had a rotor on it. Let me show you why I know that. Pow. You look really close, right there. Let me get it up here so y'all can see it. Y'all check that out. That is the standard logo from back in the day. Yep. Plus, that color just doesn't look right. But if it is or it ain't the right color, y'all let me know. What would a OEM rotor look like? And does the cap have contacts in it that are copper or brass? I'd like to know that too. This is where it gets fun. You get to climb all up in here. I bet I look downright delicious laid up across the top of this Chevrolet right now. Good news is the camera is not that wide, so y'all don't get to see. About that time, my wife walks in and says, "What the heck are you doing?" And I say, "I'm tuning her up." She says, "That ain't the answer I was looking for." And I go, working on a Chevrolet. Ugh. Some folks take a distributor out to do all this, but I kind of like the punishment. Please, let go. Let go, rascal. I don't like this style of point. This is the one that the condenser is made on to the contact. I don't like these because of this reason right here. And if you wanted to file them, this thing's in the way. I can show you what I mean when I get up here. Holy cow. Whew. They come around here. Now this was sitting in there basically like this. And if you wanted to get in there to the contact, which is right there, kind of right under my finger, you'll notice this silly stud is in the way. So to sand them or file them with them in the car is almost impossible. And if you look in here on those, that's what you would want to see. See if I can pull that back within my fingers out of the way. They're not terrible, but they ain't goods. And for a few bucks, we're just gonna put some new ones in there. Now this is one of those moments that you get to try on a Chevrolet. Yep. Oh yeah. We don't want to drop nothing down off in there. That'll cause us to do a bit more of some work, if you will.
Well, doggy.
So, let's see here. Help us. Let's slap our ends over there. Do a little screwing down. Get these delicate plug wires out of the way. I still think that's pretty cool that this thing has those factory spark plug wires on it. And then try to put this thing up in there. And you kind of finagle it around. Oh man, this old distributor shaft is kind of in the way.
Oh no.
Ugh. Working on my core right now. So tight. We're getting there. About got it. Fixed it. Perfect. Hook up wires. Yep. Hook up this other wire. Hope I don't get a spasm in my back. Can y'all imagine right now explaining to the workman's comp in a corporate situation right now of how you pulled your back out? What were you doing?
Hey, my back hurts.
You see, I was working on a 68 Chevrolet, trying to get it running, and the distributor was all the way in the back because of the Chevy. And I was stretched out across the hood. Sir, is it required? You go, yes. We gotta rotate this engine over a taste. Probably ought to show you all that. Y'all won't see all that. Let's just do it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these plug wires and plugs out of it over here on the side. That'll make turning the motor over way easier. And it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to actually squirt a little slickum in there. So, I forgot. This is a big plug motor, not the little plug motor. To be continued. Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.
Nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely.
Okay, I'm back. Luckily for me, toolbox wasn't too far away. I think I should have got a shorter ratchet. Did I get the wrong size? I did. I got a stupid metric. I didn't mean to insult this Chevrolet with an 18 millimeter. So I apologize to you folks too. Make you Conway Twitty again.
Hello, darling. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely.
Okay. Third time's a charm. That one come out pretty easy. Well, it came loose pretty easy. Let's get this other one out over here. Promise you I can do it. Come on, girl. Man, them plugs are coming out. Almost like the weight of the ratchet's just causing them to back off of there. Oh. They're a little harder to get out than you think. This old motor still has the heat shields on it. That's one of the things oftentimes when folks was pulling the motors out of these old cars. One of the first things they chunked in the trash. It's very fueled up. No rust. That's a good sign. I like no rust. Sooty's okay. That could have been just from, y'all know how it is. Just cranking a car up, moving it around ain't really good on it. Doesn't let everything get up to temperature. Causes it to foul plugs. Yep, that one's black too. Fouls them old plugs out. Next thing you know, it ain't running right. Then you get to take Mama's car down the road and blow the soot out of it. Come on. It's easy, right? Yeah, super easy. Come on. Come on. Promise you, I'm really a professional at this. Could you imagine how slow this would be if I wasn't a professional? I'm glad I got that electric impact sitting there in the way, so it keeps bumping my hand every time I try to turn my ratchet, along with this dipstick. Oh, and I need to get this oil level indicator out of the way too. Silly darn thing. Sitting there thinking about this, pulling this plug out. This car having the 2 alternator brackets on it is a sign of a higher horsepower engine. So I've been told. Wouldn't it be cool if this thing had somebody swapped it out and put a 375 or something in it? Woo-wee! That'd be awesome. Another sooted up spark plug. It looks good though. It's just dirty. Now let's see if we can go the long way. Get my hand up in here. This still isn't the worst car I ever put plugs in. A lot of them late model cars are downright a nightmare.
This is my hell.
Kind of like some of them Camaros people love so much. I think it's them 4th gens. Holy cow. I remember one of my first jobs when I started up at TV Land. Old Mike Galley and them folks that had a bright red Camaro SS car. And I needed to put a set of plugs in it. They asked me. I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh my gosh, that was a long day. So bad. I got it though. They weren't gonna break me. It's all good. Just need some new ones. Well, I grabbed my little oil can and some brand new spark plugs. Now the trick is to try to get maneuvered down off it. Man, first shot on them. Just close my eyes and let her do her thing. Heck, then do. There's 2 of them. It's like this Chevrolet's wanting to get started. Should not have been saying what I was saying, because now it just got all difficult. Making all that weird noises. Clunk, clink, pa-bang, ping, pang. Boop-a-dip-oh. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for letting this go as smooth as it is. This is awesome. That was unbelievably easy. That was a squirt of Marvel Mystery Oil and all 4 cylinders on this side. Well, that's Marvel and motor oil. That was cool. Maybe it's just from working on that old Plymouth that was kicking my butt so bad that this ain't too bad at all. Now, you ain't living till you drop one of these on the ground. I'm trying really hard not to do that. So if you notice, my face is starting to make pretty weird shapes. Got a few hickory nuts on that one. I don't want it to fire up and smell like barbecue.
Mama's gonna kill me.
Yeah, ready?
No. Don't. I told you not to do it!
Whoa! I dropped it and caught it. Look at that. Mind over matter. Come on. Great. Now the extension's all slimy.
He slimed me.
That's great!
I think I got it. Yeah, spinning it in. You know what they say? Cross threads are tight threads. Now get the ratchet off of there without saying choice words. Got it. Go over and get a short, like a mid-length extension. I bet this would be so much easier. Well, that right there, it's kind of like why your wife has 3 different kind of shoes. You got your flats, you got your pumps, you got your heels. And the reason I know about that is because of my lady. She's told me about them. And once I get this tied, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Not her shoes. Talking about my ratchets or my extensions. And so whenever, maybe you can use this to her whenever you're trying to buy tools and they're like, do you really need them? This was a little short extension. And there's your little bit longer extension. And then combined, that's a little bit longer extension. And then you know you got like your 6-inch extension. You gotta have different accessories for different outfits, different situations. That's kind of where we're at. We just need a flat right now.
I had another dream, to sell propane and propane accessories.
Man, come on. Come on, baby. Yep. The last one on this side, which is usually the easiest one to get. Ah, I got ahead of myself. I was supposed to leave these plugs out so I could turn the motor. Darn it. Bet I don't take them out for it. Nope. We'll just have to do better on the other side. Rookie. So how many of you guys caught that? Why didn't you say something? Should have said something. I would have stopped. One more. That needs to be on the bottom so I don't melt my plug wire. That's such a satisfying sound. Cool. Over to the next side. Alrighty. Now we're trying to crank his little motor over with a ratchet. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can find this little bolt. Something like that. Need to move the fan. Okay. Maybe. It's still fiddling. It's in there somewhere, I promise. This is silly. That's the wrong one. It's not even in there. That's why. Jeez. Well, new idea. Tighten the belt up. Oh yeah, she's rolling. Distributor's moving. Put another bite. Roll this thing over a little more. Oh, that motor's hissing. That's a good sign. We're on our bump. Now we just need to set the points. Man, it ain't bad. We're gonna let it ride right there. Yes, sir. That's cool. Right out of the box. Yeah, I know. Earlier I said that I'd run that rotor button. And my mind got to thinking about it, that thing's old. Plastic's not very good. I don't know how old it is. And was I willing to chance breaking down for about $3? I already had this thing. So then I told myself, just put the new one on. Because you know when it's going to go bad. So it's going to be raining. The wife's going to need to be home already. Something like that. And then all of a sudden, old cars ain't fun no more. Here we go. Fiddle it around. Fiddle it around. Come on. Again. You think I'm a professional? Ah! Boys, gals, I'm struggling. Too many obstacles in my way. There's always obstacles in our way. Come on. Can't see nothing. Jeez. This is where I start throwing a Donald Duck fit. That's her. Well, I hit a small predicament, I guess you could say. When I was taking this plug wires off on this side, the number 246, basically the little electrode contact point in there that clips onto the plug wire absolutely disintegrated. It just crumbled away. I was trying real hard to not break anything, and that one's just kind of out of my control. And then whenever I moved to number 8 and actually number 4, when I just barely put any pressure on it, the plug wire literally just fell off of it. So the age of these things, it's kind of doing, they're just aged out. The boots are so hard that they're not going to want to stay on. And that probably makes sense because this side over here has the heat riser on it, the little exhaust flap that's designed to kind of preheat the motor. It slows the exhaust leaving the engine, which means that manifold's going to go way hotter on this side than that side. So all that extra thermal capacity on this side probably cooked them. So I'm going to have to get new plug wires and put them things on there. But I still need to rebuild the carburetor. So I guess I can rebuild a carburetor and then in the morning go pick up some parts. I knew better than this again. I'm supposed to just get all this stuff and have it here, ready to go. Not having to wait. It's not any fun. So there's a chance that y'all gonna see me change some clothes. It's all good though. This whole thing's gonna fire up and purr. It's gonna be great. Yeah, probably ought to get a fuel pump too. Now that we're thinking about that. Oh, that looks like that's gonna be a joy with that air conditioner in the way. Yep. Hope that radiator holds some water. Aren't old cars fun? Let's rebuild a carburetor.